Hello, good evening. Today I'm going to show you um, how we can um, develop our Pytest framework. Now, in software testing industry, framework is very important. Now, let us see what is framework. Okay, what is framework in Selenium? Okay. Selenium WebDriver is the preferred tool to automate your test cases. A test automation framework is a set of concepts and practices that provide support for automated software testing. It is a methodology built to successfully carry out test automation. Okay. Now, what is test automation framework? Test automation framework is a scaffolding that is laid to provide an execution environment for the automation test scripts. The framework provides the user with various benefits that help them to develop, execute, and report the automation test scripts efficiently. Alright, now, now we understand what is framework. So we are going to do a very advanced level framework uh, in Selenium with Python, and this is called Pytest. Okay, so we have to import Pytest. Okay, Pytest. Now we see we don't have Pytest in our machine. That is why it's showing a red mark. Let's check. Go to CMD and just write um, pip show pytest, and it cannot show us pytest because we don't have pytest in our machine. So what we can do, we can tell pip. What is pip? I discussed in the earlier video tutorials. Please go and check those who are newbies and just attending for the first time in this session. Uh, I'll take pip install update pytest. Okay, so it's collecting pytest and already requirement already satisfied, and installing collected packages pytest successfully install pytest 4.2.0. So what we can do now, we can tell pip to show pytest, and pip is showing pytest. Uh, Location right here, and you can tell pip freeze and it will show the whole software. Here is pytest, right? And even you can just write pytest and it will show you it's a Windows 32, Python 3.7.2, and pytest is 4.2.0. Okay. So now we have pytest, and when we now go and just say pytest Now you see the red mark has been removed. Okay. Now before we use Pytest, let's see uh, whether the code we wrote is running when we run it. Yes, it's invoking the browser, expanded the window, and going to click on sign in. Okay, and clicked, and very quickly um, it has passed the parameters, the credentials, and clicked on sign in, and we can see the test has been passed. We can see even sign in GoFundMe is the title, and test completed has been printed finally because we told the print statement to print test completed. Okay, now if we write sign in small letter and just click on run framework, it's going to be failed because say check your email and password. All right, now the test become failed, so because the assertion x is equal to sign in GoFundMe is not the same with the title, actual title. We are expecting sign in, okay, sign in capital, and actual is this one because we willingly um, telling the test script to be failed. All right, so this is the very simple test case in Selenium, but here we are not executing the simple test case in Selenium. We are going to use Pytest framework. Okay, how we can do it now. If I go to Utest, I think some of you, one of you said, mm, what is question? I forgot. Mm, okay, I watched the video 1 to 5 in English mentioned on Utest. It seems to me it was explained in Bengali. Not this one. What was the question? The question was okay. Thanks, Babul, for your new videos. I absolutely enjoyed to watch it, but it is not clear to me what does this strings mean. X equal to self dot deliver dot title print X and this. Okay. Let me explain this one. Now this is a little different, but if you understand this one you will understand that one too. Now uh, actually it's driver dot title. We are telling the driver to print the title. Okay, so it's actually like this. Uh, Print driver the title, right? Then it will print the uh, title of the page. But now we don't want to print it actually. What we want is uh, we want to store this title inside a variable. This variable is X. It can be A, B, C, D or Y, or it can be even anything. Uh, when I'm saying X equal to driver the title means X equal to the title of the web page or web application, and I am now going to print the title. When I will print X, it will print the title. Now I'm telling, I discussed about assertion, how we can assert, means we are going to check whether X equal to the title of the web page, the landing page. Now X is equal to sign in GoFundMe. If this X equal to the title, then this X also equal to the title. If it is not, then test will fail. Okay, let's print it, let's execute it, and you will see title is sign in GoFundMe. If it is not equal, X is not this one, then it will fail. Because we are willingly fabricating to make the test case fail. Now see, even it cannot go in because we put negative password. So I put the password and press enter, and it go in. Alright, now if you put capital, then this is the actual and expected result, so it will pass. Now this is simple test case in Selenium. Now what we are going to do, we are going to convert this simple test case into Pytest. Okay, so to do it, we have to first change the name, because in Pytest there is naming convention, so we have to go to refactor and name it in Pytest. The name of the test also should start with tests. Okay, so it should be either start with test or it should be end with test. So then click on refactor, and we have changed the name as test underscore framework.py, because this is code of convention of Pytest. You have to start the name of the file with test, or you have to end the name of the file with test. Okay, so this is the first step you have to take if you want to create or code Pytest framework. Then you have to import the Pytest. So you import Pytest. Before doing it, you have to make sure Pytest software is installed in your machine. I already done it. Okay. Then what you have to do, you have to define. So the keyword is def. Then say test underscore setup. What is it? You already learned in the previous tutorials. Okay. Then what you are going to do is just cut it, copy and cut, then paste here. You're doing it to maintain the indentation, which is mandatory in Python. We are creating Pytest in Selenium with Python, so we have to maintain the indentation rules very strictly if we want to run the test. Then this is our test script. So what we have to do is we have to also create a test method, and it should be start with test always, as we discussed earlier in the previous tutorials. Okay, those who are newbies, again, I request you to go back and watch the previous tutorials, then watch it, then you will easily understand what we are doing. Okay, then I will say test go fund me sign in. Okay, GoFundMe login, I can say. Okay, it can be any meaningful name. It's up to you what you want to name it. Then I just put it inside the test method, everything. Okay, so I just highlight it, then press on tab, and it has become indented. Now the question is why these are covered with red marks. There should be question raised by many of you, because this driver is instantiated here as locally. Okay, so what do we have to do? We have to set up the driver globally. So we have to write global, then say driver. When we say it, that means this driver can now be accessed to in all methods, in setup method, in GoFund login test method, and also in teardown method. Teardown method, I think you can remember in the previous tutorials we discussed 3 times. So you can define it, define the method. It should be test underscore tear down, and tear down can be small cap or capital cap, that doesn't matter. You can write tear down like this too, but I prefer to write like this. Okay. Now I just highlight it, then tab it, excuse me. Then let's run it and check what happens. I see it didn't run. Okay. what we can do, we can also just take the uh, folder path of the folder, then just we right click and open in terminal, and then just write Pytest and check whether it's running or not. It's invoking the browser, navigating to gofundme.com, and going to be clicked on sign in. It has been clicked, passing the parameters, and the test has tests have been passed. It's showing 3 test cases passed, but actually we have only one test case here. Okay, this and this one is Teardown, and this is test setup. But since we use the word test, the Selenium WebDriver couldn't understand that uh, this one Teardown and the setup is not test. But it's our responsibility to make it understand. We have to write the code, we have to develop the script so that Selenium can understand how many test cases are there. Okay, to do it, what we have to do, we have to write at the rate, we call it fixture method, pytest dot fixture. Okay, then it should be now self. There should be, we call it variable. Okay, and this test setup should be inside the test method, and self should be here. Okay, so that it can understand that we are this is test case and this is test setup. Okay, then the same way now we can just right button click and try to run the test framework. And we see it's not running, so we can try from our terminal. We can write Pytest, and it is failed. Okay, it is failed because why? It's name error. We can check. Driver is not defined. Okay. Say driver is not defined. It is because we are not yet completed with our framework. In Pytest, what we have to do is we don't have teardown method in Pytest, so what we have to do, we have to copy it and just control slash, it has been commented, and just I will go here, and in Pytest we usually say yield. Okay, then just paste the teardown method just after the yield. This is part of this um, convention of Pytest. Okay, so it will invoke the browser. Okay, this is setup method. Then the teardown method will come just after the yield. Okay, yield is just a keyword. Then what we have to do is we have to create a class. Okay, class, we know how to create class. We have to write the keyword class, then name it with capital test. Okay, so class name will be always in the capital. We have seen in the very first class of Python. You can go back and watch again, and you will know how to name of a class. Okay, test, and you can say anything. It can be anything. You can say test sign in. Okay, so it's a class method. Okay, and now when you are creating a class, everything will go inside the class. That is why indentation is very um, mandatory in Python. So everything will go inside the class now. So what we have to do, we just um, highlight it, then just press on tab button, and it has become indented. Okay, now everything is okay, I think, and if we just now run it, it will be running. I told you in Pytest framework we don't run the test from IDE. Okay, we don't run like this. We run from command prompts or from right here. What you can do, we can just open in terminal. Okay, then just write Pytest. This is command to run the test. Okay, it's invoking the browser, expanding the window, click on sign in, then passing the parameter, and one test case has been passed. Okay, all right, and we can just delete it. Okay, so our test has been passed. Okay, again, there can be multiple test cases in the real world scenario. Say for example, this is a test case and we have another test case. Okay, so we have another test case, just copy it and I'm going to paste it. Okay, so this is test like 2, say for example, and this one is test case 1 underscore 1, say for example, and the first test case is passed, but the second test case we want it to be failed. So what we can do, if I just willingly put, just delete one T, it's definitely going to be failed. Again, we have to run the test from here, right? From terminal, just you can write pytest or py.test. Okay, and you see it's invoking the browser, expanding the window, clicking on sign in. Again, for the second test, one passed and one failed. So we willingly make it fail. Uh, and if we now run the test, actually we should run from CMD. So to run it, what we can do, we can take the path of the folder. I just copy it and open the command prompt. I write CMD, then press enter, and I just write cd, then keep the file path. Then I just write Pytest. Pytest is here command. Then I press enter. And we can see it's running, executing the test, passing the parameter, and we see again it's opening the browser. Click on it, passing the parameter, and both test cases passed. Right now, if we want to make it fail, either we can just make a sign in small cap, and definitely it's going to be failed. How we can do it? CMD, and just I write cd space, then give the file path, enter, then I write pytest or just py.test. So the first test case is executing, and it's going to be passed. And the second test case is being executed, and it's, we know, willingly we are making this test fail. So one test pass and second test is failed. Why? Because you see assertion error, assert sign in GoFundMe is not equal sign in GoFundMe. Okay, assert error means not equal. I think everyone have understood. Okay, now what I can do, I can just run a command exit, and it has been exited. Now let me close all this window. I'm going to show you some more command how we can um, run the test. I can just write cd, then the file path, enter, and just run pytest and -v. It will give us a little detailed report, than before. Okay, So passed 50%, and second test is running and it's going to be failed. So out of two test cases, one is passed and one is failed. So passing rate is 50%. All right, and also if you go here, now you can see a little more detail than before. Okay, now we can also CLS, we can also run like Pytest, another command, m dash with the name of the uh, file. Name of the file is tests underscore framework.py. Okay, so tests underscore framework.py, and see it's giving more details. No test run. Okay, oh my goodness. Object has no attribute.py. Okay, okay. We can say CLS. Let me try again. Pytest minus m test underscore framework.py. Test run. Okay, better we not use this command. We can run with py.test. Okay, we can also another test is being executed. And you can run with Pytest. The second test case is being executed. So I have already shown 6 ways you can execute the test. The command is, the first one is just pytest, another command is pytest -b, then py.test. This is third command, and fourth command is py.test -v. And the same way you can even run from the from just from here, right button click, and you can run like open in terminal also the same way. So 4 and 4, so you can run 8 ways. Right, so this is Pytest framework. I think it's very easy and understandable. If you understand the previous tutorials, then it's easy. If you don't understand the previous tutorial, then you will not understand it. And Pytest framework is high level and advanced level framework. Okay, uh, so now if you understand mm, Python basic programming and understand simple functional testing that I showed at the very beginning, and you understand the unit testing we are discussing in the last two tutorials, what is unit testing, and today we discussed about Pytest. If you understand these four things, you are ready to roll uh, in the real world projects. So now you can apply for the entry level positions. Now it will be better if you understand POM. POM is page object model. Okay, then this is enough to land in software development engineer in tests entry level positions. And if you want to go in senior level positions, then you have to learn BDD behave. Okay, behave is we used for end-to-end testing, especially for uh, user acceptance testing. All right, and in the most advanced level, we discuss robot framework or robotic framework. Some people say robotic framework. That is very advanced level, and BDD behave also very advanced level. So to uh, land as senior test automation engineer, Selenium with Python, you have to learn BDD behave. Okay, so usually on every Saturday and Sunday evening, I conduct the Selenium high level bootcamp, uh, advanced bootcamp. So those who are interested, you can just shoot an email to codingandtestingdaily@gmail.com. Okay, and those who are learning from the very beginning, like up to intermediate level, is intermediate level. Okay, uh, I have given free courses, free course tutorial up to Pytest, and I will give access to the POM classes. There will be two classes for the people who will be going to www.gofundme.com and just let me sign out. GoFundMe.com and just search my name. Okay, and go to this campaign. Okay, and uh, contribute at least like $10. So I will uh, let them go into page object model classes. Two classes there will be, and I'll give you some more tips how you can prepare to become professional um, entry-level test automation engineer. And you know, uh, even for the entry-level positions, salary is like 65K to 85K. And for advanced level, senior level, test automation engineers, they make like 85K to 125K, even more. Okay, so those who are interested for advanced level courses, okay, they can enroll just with PayPal $1,000,000 info.com and just send an email coding and testing daily @gmail.com. All right, so and those who are interested even go further, you can navigate to babulnakrek.com. This is our website. You can find Selenium with Python, Selenium with Java. It's a complete course from beginning to end. Actually, we conduct training for 2 months, those who are busy, and those who have time, we will suggest to attend 2 classes per week and 3 months course. Mm, we charge like $2,500 per head, but this month we are offering for 1,500 only. Okay, you can check here. All right. So I hope it was useful, and we completed the entry level course, and I'm sure many of you are enjoying it and learning a lot from even free tutorial courses. And if you practice it, I'm sure you are going to land a project, and I wish for the best. Thank you.